Happy week number 4 of human development. So this is your announcement video for the week. So let's first wrap up last week. So week 3, we learned about early childhood and those toddler type of years. We also had an academic excursion activity, and we had some discussion about that. So most of you did a phenomenal job. I was impressed with how many students actually made it down to the campus and got some good information and actually ran into each other. That was exciting to learn about. So good job. Some of you struggled. You definitely had to budget your time, and it had to be one of those things you realized couldn't be done on Friday or couldn't be done at the last minute. I understand that this is summer session, and many of us are, have vacation plans or we're on vacation, myself included. I am in Las Vegas this week at 111 degrees, so I'm melting over here in our timeshare. But I still am getting my work done. So I'm making sure that you have all your videos on time and that you will find come Monday morning, all of your content for your module number 4 is up and ready to go. So that's one of the things you just kind of have to understand. The good thing about online classes is you can take it wherever you go. So you can be on vacation. However, you have to understand that there are some assignments and activities and work you're going to need to submit. So that might have been a little challenging for some of you. And again, fortunately, we do have the extra credit points and opportunities to make up that work if you missed out last week. I'm glad that many of you learned some new things about our campus and what resources might be available to you. So jumping into week number 4, we're going to tackle middle childhood, or what we call the school years, elementary school, kindergarten to 5th grade, all of those different time periods we're going to talk about this week. I think it's a really exciting time because there's tremendous things that come into play as far as parents, what we should be teaching our kids or what we want to take advantage of during this growth time. So for this week, your activity will actually be a case study. It's called Crime and Punishment, and it's really kind of something that, again, will help you to see where your ethics are, where your values lie as a person. There's no right or wrong answer to the case study. So you'll be reading your case study, and you'll be sharing out it within your group. Again, the activity will require 2 posts, one to share your point of view, and then another to interact with one of your fellow group members. You will also have your reflection this week. Reflection this week is actually about money, because we're going to talk about 2 of the areas that parents really kind of miss the boat sometimes, is going to be talking to their kids about money. And what do you think the other one is? Talking to their kids about sex. So those are 2 areas that parents are terrified of typically. And so I will share with you why it's really important to tackle those 2 topics. And so this week's reflection will actually be, it's a little video for you to watch, and then for you to think about, did your caregivers or parents talk with you about money, and what values did that instill in you about how to manage money? Do you see as an adult how maybe some of the mistakes you may or may not have made come into play with what you learned early on in your year? So we'll talk about money for our reflection this week. This week we actually have exam number 2. Remember, every week we either have a paper that's due or we have an exam. So we have exam number 2 this week, same scenario as last time. The exam will open, I believe, on Thursday morning, and then it will be available until Sunday night. So you will have exam number 2. Be on the lookout for, again, as last time, a video session, somewhat of a study session for the exam or in preparation for the exam. So I'll be posting that up for you soon. In addition, I've also posted on your module an example of paper number 2. Paper number 2 is due next week. However, I just want to give you a heads up. Really can't provide an example of paper number 1 because paper number 1 is very individual. And I will have those graded back to you hopefully by the end of this week. But paper number 2, there is an example for you to view. Again, this is a student that submitted an A paper. And so let's talk a little bit about it. So paper number 2, again, is your 5-year goals plan. It's a short-term, goal. So 5 years out, what are your plans for the immediate future? What you do is you break up your goals. You must have a minimum of 20 goals. those 20 goals will be broken up into 5 different categories. You'll talk about education, employment, you'll talk about your personal goals, right? Financial goals, and then finally you'll talk about any spiritual or community service goals. Now within those 5 headers, you can break up the 20 goals in any format that's pertinent to you. So in other words, you may only have 2 goals under the community service and spiritual header. However, you may have 8 goals under the personal area, right, for your future plans. So it's up to you how you break them up, but they must be specific. And this is where most students lose points. So every goal has to answer how and when. So for instance, if you give me a goal like, I will lose weight. That's wonderful that you have a general goal of that you want to lose weight. I want you to tell me how and when that's going to happen. So instead of saying something very general like, I will lose weight, you need to make it specific. I will lose weight by going to the gym 3 times a week for 20 minutes, or by only eating sweets twice a week. Right? So tell me how and when that's going to happen. And then I will lose weight, or be specific. I'm looking to just lose 10 pounds in the next 2 months, right? And I will do that by, you can have sub goals. So you might say A will be, I will again cut out sweets or stop drinking soda, whatever it be. And B will be something about exercise, right? So you can do that, but you see the difference. What happens is with the second goal, it makes you accountable. Now, if you don't go to the gym 3 times a week, or if you don't cut out sweets, right? Now you understand, oh, I'm not doing what I was supposed to do to achieve the goal that I wanted. But when we say something very general, another one might be something that students always say is, I will spend more quality time with my family. That's, again, a wonderful goal. Tell me how it's going to happen. So I will spend more quality time with my family by calling my mom every Friday night, by arranging girls' night out for me and my sisters every other Saturday night, right? So now you have a specific time frame of when it's going to happen and what you're doing, how it's going to happen. So that those goals are much more, it makes you feel like you can accomplish them because they're very specific, versus a general goal of, I will spend more quality time with my family, which a lot of us aspire to do, but we need a plan of how to get that done. Okay, so that's where most students miss the boat, is that their goals are really general. I will graduate from Delta College. Okay, again, how is that going to happen? What classes do we need to take? What grades do we need to get in those classes, right? How many can you take during the summer or during the fall or spring semesters? Right? Make it very specific. And again, that example paper is going to help you because you'll see a little bit more about specifics. So again, so your paper will have 5 different headers and you'll have bullet point goals. So again, the paper is not completely narrative like your paper number 1 was, right? So the bullet point goals, I will speak in positive language. So I will, again, lose weight, or I will achieve, I will pay off my Visa credit card by December of 2018 by paying $50 more every month, right? And that pays off the debt. Do you see that specific? Make it specific. Okay, so you want to make them specific, 20 goals in bullet point. Do not say, I will not drink soda. I don't want you to say it in a negative language. I want you to say it in a positive language, right? I will be healthier by not drinking soda, right? Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, after you have your 20 bullet point goals, you can have more than 20. You're then going to give me 2 paragraphs, 2 narrative paragraphs. One is going to be about Plan B. So all of you hopefully have a Plan A. Your Plan A is to get into the nursing program. Your Plan A is to, get into the psych tech program. Your Plan A is to transfer to a 4-year college, right? What if something goes wrong with Plan A? So what if you don't get into Delta's nursing program and you apply the next time it opens up? How long do you keep waiting? Is there a Plan B? At some point, do you consider trying out for radiology technician, trying out for a different program? What is Plan B, right? What if something happens, you get pregnant? What if your family changes that, now I can't even stay in Delta? Something happens. What is your goal? And so again, we all need to kind of have an idea of a Plan B. And many students will say to me things like, No, I don't need a plan B because plan A is going to happen. I really appreciate your determination. However, I can assure you, life happens to all of us when we don't want it to. Curveballs get thrown at us when we don't want them to. So let's just say that that happens. What's your plan B? The second paragraph is going to be long-term goals. So here is where you can talk about the future, right? Beyond 5 years. So sometimes I'll have students do something in their paper under their personal goals. They'll say something like, I will get married and have 3 kids, 2 boys and 1 girl. Okay? All right. If you're not even hooked up right now, I don't know that we should be talking about your marriage and 3 kids in 5 years, right? So your goal and your personal goals could be something like, I will find a partner, right? And I will do that by joining Batch.com or by going clubbing on Saturday nights or whatever it is that you aspire to do or the type of person you aspire to find, right? Your long-term goals can say, I want to be married and have 3 kids and be a soccer mom, right? You can say that in your long-term goals, but if you don't even have a boyfriend or girlfriend yet, not sure that we should be talking about your 3 kids yet, right? So let's start off with the realistic and the within 5 years range. And then long-term goals. I will travel to Europe. I want to see Paris. I want to go build wells in Somalia and help people, right? I want to be a doctor and work with Doctors Without Borders. I want to have 50 grandkids, right? Whatever it is, whatever your long-term goals are, that's where you can write that. So your paper has a different format. It has some bullet point goals, and then it has a couple paragraphs or some narrative form. And again, you'll see that on the example. That's why I'm posting it there for you. Please look at the example paper because I will be able to tell right away if you didn't look at it. So again, this week we're talking about middle childhood. I also want to let you know that I will be posting, I will have a couple extra videos this week because my hybrid class, since I'm actually not on campus this week teaching face-to-face, I'm doing some videos for them. So chapters, I think we have 11, 12, and 13 this week. I'm actually going to do a video going through the content or the material that's in the PowerPoints for that chapter. So since I'm doing it for that class, I will post it for this class. However, by no means are you required to watch any of the videos here. This is just to help you, definitely for us to be connected in some way, but it's to provide you with some guidance and direction. So this week, again, you'll get a video on chapters 11, 12, and 13, which again, you may or may not view. You will also get a video on a study session for exam number 2, which again is optional on whether or not you view that video. So be on the lookout for those 2 videos to come out. Again, your module will have all of your assignments listed there for you. Please stay in touch. If you have any specific questions or there's anything that I can help you with, I definitely want to be here for you, even though I am in hot, hot Las Vegas. All right, guys, have a super week.